Alrighty, guys, welcome back to your favorite comedy finance channel. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. So, a ton of things have happened. I'm going to be going over a few things. I want to go over what happened with SBF. He got bailed out, so I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about Odd App today. It's on Google and Apple stores, so don't worry about that part. We are live. You could download it. It's 23 USD a month. Instead of you signing up your credit cards to Patreon and OnlyFans or signing your digital wallets or your NFTs to some private server, you could go to the one-stop shop here at MYC Network. So if you want to support us here at MYC in our community, I highly recommend joining our app. It is our own app, and we don't do any sort of censoring or anything like that. We let people say whatever the fuck they want, and you guys have the best time. So I'm going to make sure that you guys have that there. So again, Odd App is now live on Google and Apple stores. So whether you have an Android or an Apple phone, we're right there ready to rock. So one-stop shop, you just hop in, support us, and then we're going to be doing, we try to do voice conferences, I want to say every single day, and then we do pick reviews every single day. So if you guys have different picks or anything like that, feel free to pop them into the server and we'll go over them with you guys. And of course, we're going to continue building and keep doing greater things. Okay. I also wanted to talk to you guys about what to prepare for and also the timelines of what I'm looking at. Okay. So we're going to talk about the timelines of the market between now and going up to 2025. Okay. And what I expect and the indicators that I'm taking a look at as to why I feel the markets are about to collapse one more time. Now, keep in mind, when I say the markets are collapsing, I mean a lot of mainstream media picks. I mean a lot of the different bubbles that have been formed because a lot of different people swim in schools of fish. But here at MYC, we always go to different types of picks or different strategies. We always try to go to new emerging markets that are at least a year, 2 years out. And the reason why we do that is because we want to be there first. We don't want to be there when it's popular and everybody's talking about it. We want to go towards the future. And, of course, as an investor, you always want to, position yourself for something that's going to happen in the future, not for something that's happening now. Because if you hear about it all over the place today and on the news, chances are you're late. So you don't want to be late. So now another thing too, keep in mind, what's awesome about Odd App, it's a private, secure investors forum. So the users are not financial advisors. They don't issue financial advice. We're here to have fun. We're here to build. We're here to talk about whatever we want to talk about. But at the same time, you guys still need to do your own research and be accountable for your own trades. Investing is very risky, so don't forget about that too, okay? But definitely sign up for Odd App, 23 USD a month. We hope to see you there, and we'll build from there. Okay, so I have a lot of things to talk about today. So this one, I'm going to try to keep this one very short and to the point. So you guys know I'm very notorious for my short videos. So I'll go through your comments in a little bit too. But what I sense happening right now is led by a variety of different indicators. Okay. And my main indicator right now is the US dollar. The US dollar right now is is at 104.39 on an uptrend. And I don't anticipate it to break 105, to be honest with you. I do feel like we will not be able to break 105 again because we just fell from 114. So that's already showing that investors or bigger entities out there are losing confidence in the USD. So they're exiting the bond market into other risk assets. Okay. So that's already an indicator for me that people are preparing or taking position in different assets, whether it be real estate, crypto, stocks, or what have you. And keep in mind, just because you're in the markets doesn't mean everything is going to crash. It just means that the bubbles that were formed during the last bull cycle are going to crash, or mainstream media picks are going to crash, or whatever, or what have you. So because of this, you want to position yourself for things that are still emerging, things that aren't being talked about right now. And that's something that I really try to focus on myself personally when I'm trying to position myself for a year, 2 years out from my goals, So again, what we're watching right now is a variety of different central banks dump US dollar bonds because A, the dollar is overvalued, and B, they need to protect their own currency from the weight of the dollar going up. So they have to liquidate their US bonds, and that makes the US dollar go down. However, with the Fed trying to manipulate rates and pushing the rates higher, it's manipulating the dollar currency up, and that's weighing asset prices down. But what I like to describe, this whole situation as is kind of similar to what happened in Rome with Caesar. Caesar was basically killed off by a bunch of different of his allies or people that were working with him. And the reason why is because, clearly his interests were superseding everyone else's, and everyone else eventually said, we're kind of getting tired of all these sanctions and we're going to stab you now. You know what I'm saying? So that's more or less what's happening in the simplest way I could say it. But, as the dollar is going up, a lot of these other countries and their economies are getting hurt because of that weight. So because of that weight, they dump those bonds to get that liquidity transferred into those into their currencies. So that's going to weigh the US dollar down. And I think it'll continue to do that as we go forward in 2023. However, we're not out of the woods yet. I do feel like we're going to get another major fracture between now and the next 6 months. You have to understand that between January and April, people are liquidating to pay for taxes. Not only that, we read an article recently that I thought was pretty interesting because, I know you guys know that my background's M&A finance. I spent a few years in that. But before that, this was, I want to say a little bit over 6-7 years ago now. I used to work in the auto industry, and I did have some experience with the finance team. I had experience on the sales floor. And, I was always trying to do everything I could from a manager's perspective to try to help others and train others and what have you. But I read an article that that they're waiving stipulations for open autos. And what that is basically, and typically the rule of thumb is when you have an auto loan, it's one auto loan per person. Typically, you're not going to have two auto loans to one person because it's high liability for the banks. So the banks will typically stipulate your auto loan by saying, well, if we're going to give you this car, you need to trade in your old car. And that's typically what happens. But the problem is last year, there was high inflation. And because there was high inflation, a lot of these cars were overpriced, where a lot of people that are trying to trade in their cars that they can no longer afford, they can't get out of them because the car is not worth more than what the loan is. Or the gap is so wide that they can't come up with the money down in order to get out of that loan. So they're stuck with the car. And let's say if the car is unaffordable, chances are the customer is going to let it go on a repo. But what's happening right now is a lot of these different banks are getting desperate or knowing that these customers are going to end up letting their cars get repossessed. So because of that, and because they foresee the serious damage that because think about it, guys. The Biden administration did not admit recession quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, or quarter 4. Okay. Typically a recession is predicated on two negative GDP scores for 2 quarters in a row. So you have 2 quarters in a row of negative GDP growth. We had that 4 times, and this administration has not admitted that we're in a recession yet. So mind you, we're about a year into the recession. Okay. And still no declaration on this. But most of the damage that was done during last year and the resistance that consumers have or citizens have to defend against, a lot of the things that they're paying for now, like excessive taxation or excessive, taxes in general, whatever, inflation, it's the same thing to me. I look at it all as taxes personally, but, all of these things are a trickle effect where all that year of spending money, the money is running out and people are starting to feel the squeeze. Now, today you might say, I'm okay. I don't feel anything. Perfectly fine. But you need to be looking out 1 year, 2 years from now. If you continue your path right now, the way you sit, are you going to be okay in 6 months? Are you going to be okay in one year with this type of pace and growth? And this could be for your own personal business. It could be for, your income towards your bills or your liabilities and things of that. You have to think a little bit further because right now, maybe you might feel comfortable. Maybe you might feel safe. But unfortunately, we are not safe. We are at the brim of destruction right now. And we're not going to feel it probably until that second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth month. And then how I feel is we're going to get a reversal towards the middle of 2023. The narrative will switch to Bitcoin halving. And then from there, it'll go into why Web3 is needed. Now, The reasons why Web3 are needed right now, anyways, it's already propagated as we speak. Twitter is starting to censor people or ban people, Facebook, Instagram. A lot of these different companies are already banning people for censorship and what have you. And now Twitter just got through releasing that you can't advertise your business or you can't advertise a website that takes the user off of the platform without you paying a subscription or without you paying for Twitter Blue, you know? And you'll notice one by one, Telegram, Discord, Twitter, and all these things, they're going to start censoring you, or they're going to censor you plus need a subscription. And the reason why is because a lot of companies that usually pay a lot of these social media platforms money for exposure of their products and services, they're realizing the big difference between users and humans. And nothing really showed more the difference of that than a Elon Twitter Spaces live. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but we had a Twitter Spaces with Elon the other day, or the very first one, and we had a variety of different influencers out there that had 1 million, 5 million, 10 million plus followers. So tell me, how on earth did all of those followers disappear, or where are they when only 17,000 up to 30,000 people showed up for those Twitter spaces? And this was Elon exposing the government, quote unquote. This was big news. So why only 20,000 people show up? So these are just certain things that you're going to start realizing more and more as bots get deleted off of the platform, but also as companies start realizing the difference between users and humans, okay? So that's another thing to consider why Web3 is going to start being needed, because in order for you to get into Web3, you're going to need DID, which is digital identification. That is going to be your access key into Web3. Because if you're going to be able to post anything immutable, then they're going to need to know who you are, because there's a variety of different security reasons as to why some sort of identity tether needs to be put on those accounts. Because what if you're selling something you're not supposed to? Or what if you're doing something bad? Homeland Security still needs to know, that yada, yada, yada. There's a variety of different reasons for these things. However, let's go back to where the market is, okay? I'm going to get more into that in a little bit, but I don't want to deviate too much of what I'm telling you. So long story short, the banks are getting desperate. They're getting desperate to the point where they know clients are going to be letting their cars repossess. So what they're doing is they're allowing consumers, even with an open auto, to still keep the open auto and purchase a brand new car. So this means that they're letting consumers knowingly, they're going to give you a loan for a brand new car, knowing your other car is probably going to get repossessed. So the banks are already backstabbing each other. And it's a solid indicator of where the economy is going, because first it's cars, and then it's houses, and then so forth. We could be entering into a furlough type of scenario, and furlough is really very common during recessions. And if you guys haven't noticed, for the past year or past year and a half, CEOs are stepping down. Staff is getting cut by 50 to 90%. There's a lot of acquisitions going on. You have to think about a lot of the things that are going on right now, because basically the difference between a bull market and a bear cycle, to me is, yes, there's people taking profits and selling. From a trader's perspective, it could be as simple as that, whatever. However, what's really going on is you're watching what worked and what didn't work. You're watching what worked in interest, and then sustainability did not meet the levels that it needed to meet, and that's why there was a collapse. So whatever you see collapsing around you does not work, because there's no stability. So eventually, one by one, a lot of these old ponds that people were fishing at are going to go to zero, or they're going to lose 90% of their 90% of wherever their prices are, whatever the case. You're going to start seeing more tumbling prices. And the reason why is, not to say that, majority of them, aren't really that great for business model integration with crypto, what have you. There's a lot of different reasons why some of these prices or some of these companies are going to go down. But more or less, you have to look at it from an economic standpoint. If the economy is going bad and people can't afford their bills, they're going to need to sell their assets in order to keep up with their bills. So they're going to sell their crypto first. They're going to sell their stocks first. And then when they run out of those, they're going to sell their cars. If they can't sell their cars, they're going to sell their houses. So you're watching all of this really take root from what everybody went through last year. Or I'm sorry, not last year, but this whole year. Okay. Because all of it's coming into fruition and it's starting to show damage now. And you're going to see that damage happen a lot between now and the next 6 months. And I've been talking to a lot of our members on OddApp about, and especially, even our other members, stuff like that. I've been talking to everybody saying, guys, be careful out there and do not get sauced. Do not get sauced right now. Stop thinking about profit right now. It is not the fucking time. You need to be purchasing time right now. You need time right now, not more assets. You need time. Okay. Of course, we're going to continue to DCA. We're going to slow down DCA or whatever the case. However, we need to focus on time. We need to survive. So at this point, it's about surviving the next 6 months. So I tell people the next 6 months is going to determine the next 5 years of your life. So do not get sauced with marketing campaigns right now. Do not get sauced with hype and bullshit right now. Because influence, and what's sad about a lot of silly ass influencers out there is they think that influence is going to carry a pick. There's silly ass communities out there that think influence is going to carry that pick. It's not. I'm going to tell you again, it is not. And it's never worked that way. Okay. They may teach that to you, or they may tell you that, or pretend like that's what it is, but it's not. In the bear cycle, all the bullshit goes away and the real players survive, they build, and they keep producing. Okay. And I always tell a lot of our members now, MYC is now a software development company. We have developed our own software. It's called OddApp. Don't believe me? Go on your phone on Apple or Android and look up OddApp. That's our app. And we're decentralizing ourselves away from the censorship on Discord, the censorship on Telegram, the censorship on Twitter, and all the other dumb shit. We're going to a safe haven. And what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of these things are going to be going to subscription-based models. However, they're going to fail. The reason why they're going to fail is because they've been delivering a free service in exchange for your data. Okay. And that's going away because the bots are going away and the marketers are finding out what users and humans are. Okay. The problem is everyone has been giving away their data. And now when the data has been taken away from the companies are taking away the money, and these big social platforms are needing to find a way to generate revenue. So they're trying to introduce subscription-based models. However, the problem is nobody's going to do it because they're so used to it. It's actually very hard to go from a free model, give us your data model, to subscription. It's easier and actually more easier for growth if you introduce the model as a brand new app versus trying to convert one old business model to a new one. So when you introduce a new business model, it's easier to grow from there. And, this is what's going on right now. The other day, Elon said you can't advertise companies or you can't advertise anything unless you pay a tax to him or if you do a subscription. If you guys didn't notice, Twitter's doing it, Telegram is doing it, Discord is doing it somewhat, but it's going to get a little bit more harder on there. They're going to do another subscription-based model, and then Snapchat just introduced a new subscription-based model. So guys, all of this is coming, except you're going to be censored still. And a lot of these crypto companies, they're going to get censored too. And because they're going to get censored too, a lot of these crypto communities have no place to go because they're going to be censored no matter where they go. And I believe that crypto will be heading underground in a way, or needing to decentralize itself on its own apps, or going towards that Web3 scenario, which eventually, if you are going to go on Web3, you're going to need to build your own app. So again, for those of you that don't believe me, what the fuck do I know? We're just the most successful fucking community in the sector. But, I feel like we've been pretty accurate on what's coming. And I do think that you guys got to pay attention to what's happening in the background. Okay. Because again, let's go back to the market trend. If the BIS said that they're going to have a gold standard implementation process between 2023 to 2028, that's bullish because, they're projecting inflation for the next 5 years. That's good. We're at the bottom, right? Well, I would hope so, but the problem is we're going to feel the effects of recession that we dealt with all year starting to come down now because people are running out of money. They haven't produced the products or services to become sustainable. So you're going to see desperation. You're going to see a lot of people losing things that didn't create something to keep things going. So again, prepare yourself now, okay? Do not be thinking about profits right now. You need to think about hedging. And the best way to hedge is finding brand new emerging markets. Markets that nobody is talking about, picks that nobody is talking about, no hype, no nothing, okay? Those are probably going to be the safest picks out there. And again, guys, look, this is not financial advice. You do you roll the dice the way you want to. But we outperformed every community in the sector this year. We did. And what's funny is the first 6 months of 2022, Cosmos ecosystem collapsed along with Luna, along with FTX, and we hedged in BLZ. And within that 6-month interval, we had 4 2Xs and 2 3X. Then we found another great pick called ABT. And ABT did 3X on first entry, and now we're hedged at about the 10-cent range. Call was at 9 cents. So again, here we are, not focused too much on profit. We're focused on surviving because the next 6 months are going to determine if you're going to be here this next cycle. Because within the next 6 months, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to get flushed out of this market. I'm telling you, do not fall for the sauce right now. Do not be thinking about profits right now. Now is times for accumulation. Right now is times for defense, not offense. Accumulation. And for me, personally, my projection is to not sell shit until 2025. I want to be mid 2024 to mid 2025 to see peaks and see the next bull cycle. And the reason why I feel like it's going to be around that time is because Bitcoin halving is 2024. The narrative will shift mid 2023. So accumulation will happen between then and now. However, as the dollar is going down, it doesn't go down in an instant. It's going to go down over a period of years. So what's silly about people that look at a pick and because it didn't moon overnight or it didn't moon in 30 days or 2 months or whatever the case, you're a gambler. Get out of the market. You are going to zero. If you are not strategizing by a year, 2 years from here, and you're thinking about profits in 30 days, 60 days, you are not going to be here for next cycle, period. You are not going to be here. You need to be focused on accumulation, and wait for the next cycle. And it's not going to happen until sometime after Bitcoin halving, period. So do not fall for the sauce right now. Look for your opportunities to exit. Look for your opportunities. But as we're accumulating, slow down DCA, and we're going to find these nice new emerging markets that are going to be needed in the future, because what's needed in the future is censorship-free apps, censorship-free places like Web3. And the case will slowly start to be propagated to everybody because Twitter has already banned several different crypto communities out there. They have already shadow banned them from actually showing their content now. Okay. We've seen people that used to get, a couple hundred views or whatever the case per post or 1,000 views. Now they're getting 10. Okay. And chances are they're still being seen, but they're just projecting a smaller number, probably just like the way, YouTube does it. But, the fact of the matter is censorship is happening more and more now. And because of those reasons, you need to start focusing on what the future is going to need. And what the future is going to need right now is Web3. And without Web3, you need DID. So in order to get to Web3, you need DID. Every company in Web2 is going to need it. There's going to be a great migration from Web2 companies to Web3 companies. Be there before the Web2 investors find out that they're inside of a bubble, because a lot of the Web2 investors are going back thinking they're smart to the same pond. It worked last time. Maybe it'll work this time. It's not. You need, especially if you're in the tech sector, If you're in the tech sector, do not think you're an expert by continuously going back to the same shit, same picks, same this, same that. Every bull cycle is in requirement of a new technology or something that's going to be highly used for whatever reason. In this case, censorship free, ownership, digital ID, privacy, security. And this is another thing I like about ODAP, because ODAP, unlike Discord, Telegram, Element Matrix, Signal, ODAP, you can't screenshot. ODAP, it does not harvest your data. We do not take your data and sell it to a third party. We don't do any of that shit. ODAP is just us. Data goes in, data does not come out, because we wanted a serious place to build without our IP, our data being stolen. We wanted a place that is a better haven for real crypto communities that could build. And, maybe somebody will say, man, fuck that guy. He's not a real builder. Well, okay. Let's take a look at your phone. What fucking app did you make? What software did you make? And look at what MYC did. And that's why I've been telling a lot of our community members to stop taking shit, because we've been nice for a long time. And now credit is due. Credit is due. We deserve it, because MYC continued to build. We've had historical calls, historical products and services, and now we have historical software that's never been done before. Instead of you hooking up your cards, your credit cards, to a bunch of Patreons here and there and here and there, downloading Discord, downloading this, downloading that, just to help somebody. It's a one-stop shop here on an ODAP. You sign up there, that's it, done. You don't need to hook up your digital wallet and get your NFTs stolen or your assets stolen. You don't need to hook up your credit cards over there or over here to this Patreon and this OnlyFans and whatever other fucking place that you got. It's a one-stop shop here on ODAP. You get in there, MYC community, we're building there, we're reviewing picks there, and also there's no screenshots that could be done there. We don't harvest your data. All messages are encrypted. It's private, secure investors forum, because people aren't going to play around there. It has identity tether as well. So if we do find somebody that is fucking around, they're gone for life. So when you go there, you might not want to fuck around, okay? Because what happened on Discord and Telegram and all these other fucking yo-yo platforms, it's over. That's done, So eventually there'll be a full migration over there. First, we've only been live for about 4 days, I think, or 3 or 4 days. And so far we've had close to 200 signups already, so clearly there's a niche for it. There's a need for it, especially for our community. And I appreciate you guys just supporting us, because when you guys sign up to ODAP, you're supporting our community to build something greater for everybody. And we've gotten this far and we have more things to get done. So I appreciate your support even through these times. So let's get back to the forecast. So if let's say if the next 5 years is projection for more inflation, which is great for everybody, well, not great for everybody, but, clearly we're going to want to hedge our value or our USD buying power in assets. So that way, when the dollar is draining, our assets will go up with time. Now, the dollar is not going to crash overnight. It's going to happen over a course of a couple years. Now, right now, the dollar is at 103. Mid-year this year, it was about 114 and change. Okay, so that was at ATH. So now that we're at 103, we still have good buying power right now, which is good. However, we're not going to have that buying power forever. So for me, I'm DCAing, I'm collecting as much as I can, and I want to collect for the next year, year and a half. And I don't want to think about profits or selling or doing anything until I meet that 2025 goal mark. That's my goal, because that's when real things are going to happen. Right now is about accumulation. And a lot of people are looking for growth. A lot of people are looking for scalability. And I get that and I understand, but it's desperation. It's over. Okay. Right now, you need to focus on surviving and buying time. You need to survive the next 6 months. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And, until we reach that midpoint, we're not going to get that real narrative of Bitcoin halving for 2024. And there's not really going to be any substantial, I feel like we'll still get incremental growth between mid 2023 to 2025 personally. But it's not going to happen overnight. A lot of people think, if you make a call on a pick, it's supposed to just go up and down. Like, I don't have no idea where that expectation came from. But, typically in a bull cycle goes up in increments over a course of a couple of years. Okay. And, you're not going to notice that growth because you're going through it over a course of a couple of years. So for those of you that are hoping for an up and down within 30 days or 60 days, you're a gambler and you're going to lose. I'm telling you, if you're going to make it in the crypto sector, it's about letting time appreciate your assets, period. Okay. And here's another thing between small caps and large caps are great opportunities. Does it suck if you're buying a large cap at 50 cents? Yes, it does. However, if you're buying a large cap and you're 3-4 decimals over of a penny and it goes to 1 penny or 2 pennies, that's fucking a great big ROI. Okay. So there's opportunities out there, but you have to be on the lookout for them. Like for instance, for me, when it comes to large caps, I've been taking a look at Jasmy and Colville and Tone and, what are the other ones? Silo. I mean, there's a ton of picks out there that are large caps that are still, decimals, a lot of decimals over. And I'm going to keep my eyes out for stuff, but I'm focusing on my hedges. I want to focus on picks that I know are going to be needed or will be great next cycle, and they need to be bottomed out. So for instance, I will not be buying quant because it's going to be going very low soon. It's not going to be going up higher from here. There's literally no growth to risk ratio there that's worth you being in there. Okay. So, I mean, if you guys want to continue to get sauced, well, welcome to 80% losses in the next 60 days, but, let's be real. If you're taking a look at different positions right now, you should be looking at things that are damn near close bottom or just unsaturated territory. That's what I'm interested in. So for instance, I've been taking a look at ABT more and more often. I'm very bullish on ABT, Arc Block, bullish on BLZ. And what's funny is people think that BLZ was a bad pick, and it was not a bad pick. And it still performed very well within a 6-month radius, while the entire put it this way, Bluezill outperformed Cosmos for 2022, period. Fucking period. It outperformed them because they went to 95% losses plus, and BLZ did 4 2Xs and 2 3Xs within a 6-month radius. So there's that. So, the pick isn't over. It's a great company, and I think it'll be needed for Web3. It has GameFi. There's a lot of different things I like about it. Same thing with ArcBlock, Web3. Everything that I'm pushing towards this cycle, Web3, digital IDs, KYC, everything that's going to be needed this coming cycle. That's my focus. I don't give a fuck if it's about if some big ass influencer is talking about anything. I don't care, because they're talking about anything that they're talking about right now. It's too late. Well off. We're going to a new market. So we need new people. We need new picks, new this, new that, new emerging markets. When Ray Dalio talks, and everyone loves Ray Dalio, everyone loves Warren Buffett, everyone loves Peter Schaft and fucking Robert Teriyaki. So what do they always say? Stop going to stop going to these saturated markets. Look for unsaturated territory, shit that nobody wants, nobody's talking about, all that stuff, because maybe today they're not talking about it, but they will be. And I know they will be talking about ArcBlock ABT because they got the key to get to Web3. And the protocols that they're going to be making, a lot of these other companies are going to need to help make those protocols. See, a lot of people think that Web3 is going to be done by one coin says all, chosen one bullshit. If somebody has a chosen one pitch to you, they're a piece of shit and you shouldn't be listening to them. What the crypto sector is and what it needs for growth and adoption is synergy, is unity, is different companies coming together, whether weakness or strength, coming together as a puzzle piece to create better products and services that are going to be needed for that adoption. We can't have a real Web3 without multiple protocols being made using DID verifiers. There is going to be a variety of different winners, and you need to spotlight those out. One of the other picks that was the OG one from way back in the day, we called it a penny or 2 pennies, was Civic Token. It's a Microsoft partner. They're going to be helping with digital IDs. Unfortunately, there does have some health pass stuff to that as well. And mind you, who knows if health passes will be, something that they put into the US, or if only health passes are going to be put in other places. I don't know. But I did take a look I re-looked at Civic Token, and, I'm going to be watching it. And this is just an example. Like right now, it's pretty bottomed out. It's like, I think 8 cents or whatever. However, I'm not going to be touching anything brand new until March. I don't want to touch anything brand new. The only thing I'm touching right now is something that's emerging or bottomed out. BLZ, ABT as examples, or things that just nobody are talking about. Jasmy, Koval, Tone, a lot of these different picks are out there, and guys, look, when we're an odd app, we talk about picks all the time. I talk about over 50 picks a day. Okay. When I do videos, even though I don't put a hashtag about what pick I'm talking about, or, typically the normals or the normies, they look for a video based on the hashtag. Okay. Well, I could put ABT or I could put XRP in my title, and every video that I talk about, if you were actually listening and you had an attention span longer than 5 minutes, you'll notice I talk about anywhere between 15 to 20 plus picks each video. And the reason why I do that is because I don't make videos every day. I'm not in it for that. I come here because I want to educate. I want to talk about what my forecast is, what's going on, stuff like that. And then I go back to Odd App and I start continuing to build. That's what I do. So every day we're going to be doing voice conferences. We're going to do pick reviews every day in there, stuff like that. We have a major update coming out, I think tonight. And then from there, we're going to go full-fledged on marketing campaigns, because Odd App is going to be the next go-to. Crypto communities need a safe place to go without without being harvested. That's a place to go. Let's take a look at what's going on here. So for some of you that brought up Core and Solo. Okay, so Core, I would get out, as fast as possible. Any sort of anything that has, like, let's say, between, I know that they're going to be doing, that layer 1 announcement, or the release of that layer 1 in March. I want to be out by January. Okay. Same thing with Solo. I'm not going to be waiting around. Okay. Solo, same thing, January. I don't want to wait till February or March, because Feb, March, April, July, all of those places, that between that first and the 6th month, we're going to get a tight squeeze. Okay. A lot of these picks are going to be going to zero. So do not get sauced. Take your opportunities when you can, and then start focusing on buying time, surviving 6 months, and also making sure that you find those next emerging picks. Not picks that people are talking about today, because it's too late. You want to be going to shit that nobody's talking about. There's no influencer. There's no nothing. It's just a good ass pick, good ass utility, has all the fundamentals, right tokenomics, right circulation, right cap, right entry, everything. You want to be very, very meticulous about what you're doing, because everything that you position yourself in, you have to have a 2-year strategy on it, not 2 months or 3 months. Because if you are, and it makes sense to you, you're going to zero. Okay. So, I'm trying to tell you guys that a lot of people right now are trying to promote out of desperation because they're going broke, and eventually their communities are not going to be able to afford the upcoming losses that are going to happen in February or March. Okay. Don't be that person. We need to make sure that a lot of people need to focus on wealth retention right now, because the next 6 months are going to determine whether you are here next cycle. So you could drop the competitive tension for half a second, be smart, and prepare yourself, because the next 6 months, whatever you do, is going to determine the next 5 years of your life. So be ready, and make sure that when you are positioning yourself, you do your own research, and you make sure that it's unsaturated territory. There's not a lot of attention on it. It's unsaturated. Because here's one thing I like about ABT. Here's a good example. Okay. And it could be, you could use this kind of same format on any other pick that you're using. I'm just going to use Arc Block ABT because I have the numbers in my head. Okay. It doesn't have to be ABT. So Arc Block only has 20,000 wallets. Okay. It has 20,000 wallets on Arc Block. I have 3 wallets for Arc Block. So let's do an average. If people have only roughly 1 or 2 wallets of Arc Block, chances are there's actually humans, maybe 10,000, 12,000 maybe. I rather trust 10 to 15,000 people holding a token than, let's say, you're an XRP and you have to trust 1 million hands holding XRP. You see what I'm saying? So, that's why for right now, I'm not worried about the hype, because hype means nothing right now, because a lot of communities and a lot of picks are going to zero. They're going to be fucking decimated. It's not a matter of whether it's a good pick or not right now. It's a matter of, clearly the economy is tanking due to what's happening, and the recession effects were not felt in 2022. People were burning through money 2022, but that money is gone. And now the next 6 months, you're going to see the real damage, which lines up with the expectation of bear cycles. People say a bear cycle typically only lasts about a year and a half. That makes sense. We're about a year in and we got half a year to go. So it makes sense. So, and again, look, if you have a better bet to make than me, make your bet and we'll see who's right again. But, we'll see what happens from there. Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I see a lot of you guys here. Do me a big favor. Like the video for me. I never put commercials. I haven't put commercials on any of my shit for years. Okay. And now we have our own app, our own software. Okay. Our own software here at MYC. We built it from scratch and people are signing up to it. It's awesome. 23 USD a month, private, secure investors forum. We talk about crypto stocks, precious metals, different investors from around the world gather there and share their opinions. And we share different picks and just go over stuff. It's not a cult. We don't all have the same pick or anything like that. And it's never, ever going to be that way, regardless of what you guys are used to out there or what you've been told. Okay. So if you support me, you support us, sign up to OddApp. It's on Google and Apple Store now. Let me go through your comments real quick and we'll keep it rolling. Fabian says, I'm not fucking late this time. That's correct, sir. Brian the Nickel says, you got to give me a minute. Still collecting myself from that 9 candle shit. Yeah, so Twitter banned me again. This is like, to be honest, I'm done. I'm just so done. I've been banned from there. It's just to the point now where now I'm just happy I have my own app because now nobody could ban me. Nobody could ban me because I have my own goddamn app and we could just go there and talk about whatever we want and share the news and do whatever we need to do. Because clearly, and what's funny about a lot of people is they think they need crowds. They think they need, X amount of followers and subscribers and whatever to be successful. So what happened to us? We don't have nearly a fraction of the audience a lot of these other people have, and they're not even a fraction of how successful we are. So, to be honest, you guys should start looking at yourselves and be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be herd mentality thinking that a bunch of audience numbers is going to float a pick, because it doesn't. Because as you can see, we had a fraction of the audience, yet we've outperformed every community in the sector. So, and of course, I say this humbly, but the facts are the facts. And it's this historical fact. It really is. I don't see anybody with software out there. Gomes says, Fabian, you finally catching one. Absolutely. And I'm really happy to see Gomes. We're going to be interviewing, I'm not sure if it's today. Maybe it is today. I have an interview scheduled with Black Roo, I think tonight at 9 p.m. I'll make sure that we share. I'll have a lot of our members share it on Twitter since I'm banned from there again. But that shit is over because now we got our own place. So guys, if you love free speech, support OddApp for sure. Because that's the last place. Be Like Water says, what's up? Let's go. Absolutely. Paul Gavin says, hello, MYC crew. Merry Christmas. What's up, Paul? I hope you make it on OddApp. And what's nice, see, here's another thing, guys. I know a lot of people forget about this. Okay. When we used to have a private Discord membership, we were charging anywhere between like 500 to 2,000 just based on where we were at in the cycle or how much volume we were getting at the time. Like it just depended on what was going on. However, I felt bad all the time because it was the only way we could survive at the time. But meanwhile, there were so many people that couldn't afford MYC because of that, because we wanted to make some sort of barrier from a bunch of trolls and, people being stupid at the time, now it's a lot easier, but, now MYC, if you want to get into our private membership, you just sign up to OddApp and it's 23 USD a month. So that's affordable for everybody. If you really want to afford it, you just tell your wife, don't go to Starbucks one day out of the week and you're good. Boom, you're in. So, I know a lot of wives really love me out there. They really do. But yeah, SBF got bailed out on a $250 million bail. And, to be really honest with you guys, $250 million is a drop in the bucket for him. So if things don't go his way, he will disappear very easy. And, at this point, more power to him, it's just, for me, whenever I see silly stuff like this go on, you have to kind of just think about like what'll happen, and you're just like, chances are this person is probably going to go on a permanent vacation, and they're probably going to have like the best time because I don't see them really putting this together. I mean, everything about this case is him swindling Congress and somehow, some way Ukraine, and just a whole fiasco of nonsense. So like the way I see it working out, it's just like, I wouldn't doubt it if the same people reporting on it or talking shit about it or whatever are probably involved in some sort of way. Like, it's just weird to me that these lawyers seem to somehow orchestrate a way for this guy to get out of the Bahamas, or stop him from testifying, or stop him from going to jail now. Like, there's just so many little things that are happening where it's like, wow, this is truly organized. A lot of it's organized. So the way I see everything is just a giant fucking show. It really is. It's just a giant show. So I'm not really concerned about it. I don't really give a fuck about it, but like, it was the most nine candle shit I've ever seen in my life. When I saw that he got bailed out, I was just like, wow, this guy is gone. He's just like, you think his parents can afford 250M to just let him go? Because if he, let's say he runs out on his bond, then his parents are on the rope for 250 million. They could pay that and he could disappear. A simple price for freedom when you got billions of dollars, like, think about it. So I have no idea why, some of these vigilantes out there really, like, they sit there and say that they want to try to stop somebody, but in a way, you're really just putting them on a permanent vacation instead of making them fucking work for a living. Personally, that's how I feel sometimes, where I'm like, sometimes, you rather just see the person working versus fucking escaping and going on a Bahamas trip or going to the Dubai, whatever, because there's a lot of places, a lot of these people go and hide, because it's not just SBF. It's a lot of these different people out there within, like, that made it to the billionaire status. A lot of these crypto companies or whatever that made it to the billionaire status, their CEOs, they disappeared or pretended like they got killed or pretended they're dead, and they're gone, living life. So, sometimes to me, it's almost better to just keep them working than fucking send them on a permanent vacation. That's just me. But, to each his own, but let's keep going. Lo Wang says, yeah, Merry Christmas to all. Marvin says, haircut. Yes, sir. I did get a haircut. I'm going to be seeing my mother-in-law soon, so I wanted to make sure I look sharp. Both of them. Maddie C says, jumped on ODAP. Plebs will be plebs. Getting that MYC education. Absolutely. When ABT Moon? Probably in a couple years, sir. That's what I think. I think a lot of the bigger mooning, or a lot of the my profit mentality. So a lot of people that are saying like, all right, win moon, win this. My profit mentality is not now. My profit mentality is in 2 years. I want to, like, see, here's the thing. We just got out of a bull cycle. So at what point or why are you saying, well, win profits, or, win this, win that? We should be collecting right now. We're back in a bear cycle. So what did we do last bear cycle that made us so famous, right? Remember what made us so famous last bear cycle? Buying shit, holding it for a year, 2 years, and then we exploded in the bull cycle to extravagance. So, that is my strategy. So I think a lot of people out of desperation cannot shake that mentality out of, man, I just need to make a little bit more. I just need to make a little bit more. But no, you're going to continue going down and you're going to get fucked. So that's why it's like, go back to work, stop fucking around, and start working on your life to where you could continue accumulating and wait for the next cycle. Because I truly feel this next cycle will be the last one before real tech tyrannical shit happens. I really do. I think this is the last cycle that we're going to have the chance to do any sort of escaping from, like, technical tyranny. It's getting there. Obscure Warrior says, bring holograms on for discussion on future of crypto. Absolutely. I love holograms. Holograms is on ODAP as well. And by the way, ArtBlock CEO, Robert Mao, also signed up to ODAP. So he's with us in ODAP. So that's cool. He's a busy guy, so I doubt he'll pop in, pop out, but we do have an interview set up with him on the 15th of January. So he'll be on voice conference on ODAP, and we'll have that conference. And then on the 6th, we have another CEO from Byte Storage. His name's Justin, and we will be interviewing him on ODAP for voice conference on the 6th of January. So that'll be really cool and informative. One thing I really want to do with ODAP for the voice conferences is I want to bring our leaders and the people that are successful up to the front, and a lot of our whales that succeeded last cycle and hear about what they're doing and the things that they're doing to produce revenue or produce an income. I also want to have Justin talk about how to create online businesses, because he's very successful at that. He's done very well with himself for a long time. I've known him for a while. And I want to make sure that we bring that type of education to you guys, because being an investor or, being a success does not begin or does not end at being in crypto. Crypto is just a stepping stone, and your success should be reliant on more than just that. It's just impossible to do that. You need to generate revenue. You need to generate a business or whatever the case. And that's why a lot of our business owners on MYC, they always know that I continuously support them. I platform them. I make sure I do everything I can so that way our business owners could prosper and they could provide their products and services where they may need be. And a lot of our people do well. A lot of we have people that create logos, CGI, animation, you name it, anything in the crypto industry. We have different people for that stuff. And do I ask for a kickback, guys? No, I don't, because it's about you guys. I want to make sure our community is sustainable, and I want to make sure that you guys do well too. And that's what I'm about. You guys know that. But Walter says, Solo pumped to 20 cents. This coin moves fast. Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely, for me, to be honest with you, for anything that's not a hedge or something futuristic, which I don't think Solo and Core are right now, I think that, you have to take your advantages or your opportunities to exit in January. I would not wait around for whatever you've been marketed throughout the year. I think that'll be very detrimental to your portfolios. That's just me. I mean, we'll see who's right in the end, but I do think that a lot of things are going to collapse between February and March. Cav says, congratulations on ODAP. Can't wait. I'll get in till after New Year's. Yeah, absolutely. Farshad says, good afternoon, everyone. Do smash that like button on your way in. Absolutely, Farshad. So Solo Nation, get ready. Solo will be listed on more exchanges soon. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Walter says, I can't wait for this crash in 2023 to buy the largest amount of ABT in Solo. Absolutely. That's what you guys should be preparing for. Look, if you guys get some nice pumps, good. But understand, it's not because, it's a bunch of people starting to buy out of nowhere. They deployed market makers. You could tell. So, take advantage of the market makers, take your ROI, do what you need to do, but I would not linger. Okay. Do not linger, take what you can, wait. And sometime in mid 2023 or slow down DCA, take what you can, but DCA slow, or just wait till your mid-year. But definitely start going into your hedges or go into more futuristic picks that have sustainability. Solo and Core are not sustainable, clearly. But they do have volatility, which is good, because that's what we like as investors. We want volatility because, you have high risk, high reward, and stuff like that. But, based on the economy and where we're going, and keep in mind, Q1, they're going to release the fucking Q4 results. Okay. Once they release these Q4 results, it's not going to be good. Okay. And you need to be ready for that. People are going to be selling off for taxes. And also the GDP report is going to come out again. It's not going to be good. So that first quarter is going to be a catastrophe. Do not fucking get sauced out there. I'm telling you. Walter says, I can't wait. Yeah, I saw that. I read that one. Farshad says, I am buying Solo nonstop. Best believe. Absolutely. If you have a 2-year span on it, you just want to collect it throughout no matter what, then yeah, absolutely. But if you're worried about it going up and it going all the way down, then, take advantage of your opportunities and then buy up the bottom again, because there will be a new bottom. Farshad, I am buying Solo nonstop. Yeah, I got that one. Danru says, legend. Press that goddamn like button, people. Absolutely. Odd El Toxico says, MYC Network has proven results, developed the first of its kind software. This isn't your girlfriend. Invest in OddApp instead of those lonely fan subscriptions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to send Discord and OnlyFans to 0. Correct. Farshad, if you haven't sold, you haven't lost, best believe. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, to be honest with you guys, I do think that, there is going to be opportunity, but, by the end of January, I wouldn't wait. February, very risky. March, extremely risky. January, I would definitely be exiting out of any saturated markets or any sort of position that is marketed or promoted in any sort of way. That's what I would do. Walter said, Bob Ross tweeted, be prepared for exchange listing announcement. Yeah, absolutely. Farshad, I am buying and holding only. Absolutely. I know Tsunami is incoming. I think so. Um, I do think so, but we're gonna need a crash to happen one more time. I think we're gonna need one more crash, and we're gonna need another USD fracture. And the only way we're gonna get that USD fracture is if these bonds continue to get dumped, which is happening. But I don't think we're gonna feel that effect until we start breaking that 98 cent mark. Right now we're at 103, and I don't think we're gonna break that 95 cent mark until probably like mid-year this coming year. I think that's how I feel, anyways. I did research on BLZ. It's an amazing Web3 company. Thank you for that pick. Yeah, absolutely. No, I do think so too. I think it's a billion market cap coin or more, long term. I've always really liked that company, and we did really well with it, and it's still going to be a play for me, and I will be accumulating it, so it's still a play for me. A lot of people try to talk shit, saying like, oh, Dion called something and it didn't do well yet. Like, we're in a bear cycle. So, the bear cycle started January of 2022. And while Cosmos was collapsing and you guys lost 95%, BLZ did 4 2Xs and 2 3Xs. Okay. So it outperformed the entire Cosmos ecosystem for 2022, period. And that was within a 6-month radius. So, and we could talk more on that, but whatever. Jake says, what color is your Bugatti? I'm thinking purple. Jake, your numbers on lives are increasing since OddApp came out. Yeah, absolutely. See, look, credit is due. Okay. So, I believe MYC community deserves a lot of credit. A lot of people have talked shit, or made up lies or slandered us or tried to make people not watch us. So, and that's typically when you're just extremely talented community, the best defense that haters could have is just deflection or trying to make sure that you don't witness. But once you witness our content, once you hear the education that I have, once you hear the forecast, and also, guys, look, back in the day, they used to say stupid shit about me. They used to say I was stupid for saying that watch the USD over Bitcoin. Well, don't you look stupid now? Because now everybody and their mother is talking about the DXY. Okay. Since January of this year, 2022, I said Japan is going to be mainstream news because they're going to crash the dollar. They have the most US dollar debt, not China. China is a complete fucking distraction. Nobody talked about it. And now we're just now bringing up Japan. Okay. And now it'll become mainstream news because that's what it is. They have the most to lose and they're hurting the most. They are going to be forced to alleviate themselves of US dollar bonds. Meanwhile, I've had this forecast since January of this year, but in October, 2 months ago, I met Kathy Wood herself. We had a conversation and she confirmed my forecast. She said that I was right on that. However, she said at the 147, 150 exchange rate mark, the yen and the USD mark, when you have that exchange rate, Japan, no matter what, has to dump extreme amounts of bonds. And we watched it live action happen every single time it hit that 147, 148 mark. It happened. So she's very, very talented. I do believe in her. I think she's awesome, devout Christian. She named her asset management firm after the Ark Covenant. She's fucking awesome. I really like her. It was a private event. And it was just an awesome experience. Does that mean that I'm working with her or, something crazy is happening? No, I met somebody that was famous and that I got to learn from, and that's it, but it was just a cool experience. A lot of people tried to discredit that as like, oh, there's nothing really going on, but like, that's not the point. It was just, I got to meet somebody that had very good education and I was confirmed and we got to hear a real forecast from somebody that's a representative and it matched with what I have. So, maybe I'm not wearing a suit every day, but don't forget, I came from M&A finance. I worked 3.5 years at a firm. So I was working with private equity groups. I was working and selling companies between 2 million in revenue up to 500 million in revenue. And although I didn't sell them by myself, I was still a working gear learning within the firm. So, you have to keep in mind that I do come from that background and I have learned a tremendous amount. And I like to give that to you guys. I'm not here to tell you that I'm better than you. I'm just here to share what my education is and my data, and although people try to discredit my education or discredit what I do, you guys hear it. It's fluent. Do I do edits? Guys, I've done 3-hour live streams, full pitch, and fucking we talk finance. So, it's really silly when you start hearing the things that I hear, here and there, where it's just like, clearly this person has never listened to 10 minutes of me. But I do want to shout out a lot of you guys that used to be haters or whatever, because a lot of people that are now really good friends of mine, they came up to me or they message me and they say, Dion, at first I didn't like you, but it's because I didn't know you. If somebody told me that never to listen to you and not trust you, but I went to watch your video and I was blown away. And now I'm an MYC member. And that happens all the time. So, I want to shout out a lot of you guys for giving me the chance to be heard, So guys, don't forget to press the like button for me, and I'm going to continue doing my thing. I'm going to read through your comments real quick, and I'm going to continue on this forecast. We're only an hour in, so we're actually doing good for time. So, let's keep rolling. Run Up, Get Done Up says it's fucking over. Don't forget, unfortunately, plebs will remain plebs. They'll be sharing bags of crickets. Absolutely. Freeze dried. Fabian says, hit that goddamn like button, motherfuckers. Walter says, how low do you think Bitcoin could go in the first half of 2023? I mean, who knows? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not too worried about Bitcoin, where it goes. I never have bought Bitcoin. I've never felt the growth to risk ratio is worth it. The multipliers are not worth it. And, a lot of people, they may have feelings for Bitcoin, but the way I look at my positions and investments is multipliers. If I bought Bitcoin right now, I have to wait for 40,000. That's a lot of risk. If I bought it at 10,000, I have to wait for 20,000. That's a lot of risk. If I bought it at 5,000, I have to wait for 10,000. It's a little bit of risk, but that's okay. So when I look at this stuff, I don't want to buy it, and right now it being at 40% dominance for the market, I don't really care where it goes, because if I'm buying emerging market altcoins or I'm buying close to the bottom, where are these altcoins going to go if Bitcoin dominance is 40%? Not really far. So, I feel comfortable buying these bottoms and DCAing in them without feeling I'm going to lose 90% tomorrow. The people that should be worried about losing 90% tomorrow are the people that are buying stuff that is already saturated or being pumped up or inflated by market makers or promoters and stuff like that. That's why I tell you guys, look for your opportunities, take advantage, wait for the bigger drop, because it's coming. Okay. Don't get sauced. Do not get sauced. Do not get sauced. If you have, if you're just, let's say if you believe in something that's, you believe in it really, really well, like Core Solo right now, you're probably going to lose a lot of money when we get into February, March. However, if you're still committed to continuously to buy that, whether it goes high or low, and wait a year, 2 years, I think that's a good idea if you want to do that, if that's your goal. But if your goal is to do well in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're not going to win. I don't think you're going to do well, because the market is not going to survive half of this year. So that's just me. That's my opinion on that. And again, we'll see who's right. I'm okay. Guys, look, I love owning my forecast, because when I own my forecast, you guys hear about it, because typically I'm pretty accurate, and keep in mind, I don't know everything. I'm not God, clearly. I'm a human being, but I am pretty impressed. And I know you guys are impressed with our forecasts, and they're pretty accurate. I feel like we do a good job here. We are, our community does good research, I feel. I do think maybe 14K, maybe. I'm thinking, if it goes any lower than that, who cares? I mean, I just, maybe 14. We'll see. Fabian says, who gives a shit about Bitcoin? No. Docadet says it's over. Odd App will take over this space. Yeah, absolutely. Spencer says, I got a spare 20K. What do I do with it? I don't know. Maybe go to the strip club. Docadet says, don't listen to these fucking backpack kids. Definitely don't listen to them around your children. Don't forget, this is a heterosexual channel. Don't you ever forget, and press the like button. Absolutely, Docadet. That is correct. James says, I hear it's the biggest bail in history now. Yeah, it is. Here's the thing too. I do feel like there's a crypto bailout coming. And that's the way the government is going to end up owning the crypto sector, is by a crypto bailout. So I do think that we're going to take on a big crash, and then the government's going to need to step in. And just like Elizabeth Warren said, she said, bailing out the crypto industry is looking more and more like an option, because it's affecting our financial system. So, there is a big chance that, SBF was an agent at some point to make sure that he canceled the entire crypto sector to collapse it. So that way the government could come in and say, oh, we're going to bail you guys out. However, here's the regulations, here's the stipulations, and now we control everything. So, that could be why it happened. If you take a look at how infectious FTX was, it's very orchestrated. And, I wouldn't doubt it if SBF gets away with it. I really wouldn't. It's super. I mean, take a look at the IMF. You take a look at the IMF and you learn about Christine Lagarde or the other representatives. A lot of them have been accused of fraud. Just as big as SBF. However, they get away with it because when you actually unfortunately, it's very hard to prove fraud because you have to go by the intention. Did the person fail or did the person intentionally look to defraud customers? And in this case, SBF has so many outs. Oh, it was Binance's fault. Oh, it was the Fed's fault. Oh, it was this person's fault. It was this. There's so many things that allude to him failing because of some external force that led him to that failure. So that intention word could very well save him, even with all the damage that's done. So we'll see what happens. But again, he got bailed out, and he's going to be a free man for the next 2 years. If it doesn't go his way, 250 million is a drop in the bucket for this guy. This guy will disappear, and it'll be that's just the way I feel about it. But we'll ultimately see what happens. Doc Dead says, don't forget to crest, fondle, and do unspeakable things that goddamn like button, folks. Just don't catch a charge. Absolutely, Doc Dead, correct. Legion says, if ABT hits $50, I will tattoo Dion's face on my cheeks. Yeah, you never know. Well, to be really honest with you, I really because it's better than Cosmos and Polkadot when it comes to technology, you have to take a look at, let's say, even if it's just a competitor, if it takes a fraction of their market cap, let's say, even a fraction of it, it's still looking like a 50 USD or more type of token. You just never know. It's highly compressed. You have 186 million coin cap with 99 million in circulation. So for those of you that love the experience that you had with Solo at that time, it had a 400 million coin cap, but half of them were locked. So the reason why Solo scaled the way it did was because only 200 million tokens were available. Okay, so think about ArcBlock's case. Think about how Solo was talking about needing a KYC solution and Blocklet, or a lot of these other companies that are going to need to use its Blocklets to create the apps or dApps it needs, or they need, or whatever the case. It has a good use case. So, if you think about it, 200 million, it has 186 million total cap, and only 99 million circulation. It does have scalability. It's there. On top of that, let's take a look at the numbers. Let's take a look at the market cap. So ArcBlock, in order for it to hit $1, okay, and keep in mind, guys, I know for a lot of gamblers right now, they're looking for results right now, but that's why you're going to zero. But for the adults here that are keeping a 1 to 2 year projection out, if you think about it, at 100 million of a market cap, ArcBlock is already $1. At 500 million market cap, it's $5. So, maybe we don't got the crowds now, or maybe we don't have the bull cycle here yet, but eventually a lot of people are going to come back into the market, and ArcBlock is literally right there on Coinbase. Think about it. So, essentially this thing could have some strong scalability when the time comes, in a couple years or so, so that's why for me, I'm just accumulating and just kind of seeing what happens from there. I mean, you guys place your bets where they may be. Jake, permanent holiday inbound for MYC. I hope so. Walter says, I think these XRP kids expecting XRP to go to $100 after the case will be very disappointed. Yes, they will be. About last night in the stock market, Warren Buffett type says, sell in May, go away. In crypto, it's buy this May, don't be gay. Do you concur? I doubt it. I mean, we'll see. I think that, as long as, for me, I'm going to be starting to increase my speed of DCA mid-year this year. I'm slowing down tremendously DCA as we go from January to June, because I do anticipate crashes to happen between now and March. And it'll probably get worse as we go towards it, because it's not so much it's not so much about whether or not the pick is good. It's a matter of the economy is going to shit right now. And because the economy is going to shit, you're going to have a lot of people that need liquidity, or they need cash. So they're going to sell their assets. Then they're going to sell their house, or they're going to sell this, or going to sell that. It's going to happen. But when that crash does happen, that'll be the reversal and I think that'll be the real signal for the next bull cycle, I mean, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, the real bull cycle, what is happening already, but the bull cycle was between 2020 and 2028 because bull cycles historically last about 8 years. You guys don't see that right now because of the volatility that we've experienced. But if you really think about it, the bull cycle really started in 2020 and it hasn't ended. But a lot of things got hyperinflated or money marketed or market made or whatever the case. A lot of manipulation. So a lot of those things failed creating those bubbles, but now a lot of the companies that are supposed to succeed are going to continue to be prosperous or sustainable. So I do feel in the grand scheme of things, we're already in a bull cycle. It's just from 2020 to 2028. But I guess in our particular narrative scenario, we're in a bear cycle now. It's going to go down for a while, but I do think that that turnaround will be mid-year this year is how I feel. Um, About last night says if ABT hits $50, I don't even think I'll have cheeks. Absolutely, sir. And Mr. Paul Solo says thanks MYC for solo and BLZ picks last year. Absolutely. Well, you mean this year, but I know what you mean. Dean says if I exit solo in January, what should I put it into? What is the safe stable coin? Yeah, to be honest with you, are any stable coin safe? I don't know. For me, to be honest with you guys, I don't like using stable coins. I know they have a place in the crypto sector. But I don't really like stable coins. I like just buying an asset and continuously buying it. But I look for different picks that are hedge or unsaturated territory. Nobody's talking about it, things of that nature. But if I was going to use any stable coin personally, I would use Tether, but I would use Tron TRX's Tether. It has more liquidity than ETH Tether. So, if you are looking to use Tether, I would recommend taking a look at the TRX network or the Tron network that has Tether. So Tether has a TRC20. If you take a look at the liquidity pools between ETH Tether and TRX Tether, TRX has monster amounts of liquidity, towers over ETH, so that's just something to consider. But for me, I like my goals this year. I want to collect a lot of ABT. I want to collect a lot of BLZ, PRQ. I want some Jasmy, Dragon Chain. There's a ton of different picks that I have in mind that I would like to collect, but chances are I'll only end up collecting like 3 bags. I don't want to, last cycle, I went through the phases of only having like 5 picks. And then there was a point in my life where I had like 20 picks, and if I could do it all over again, I would just only have 3 picks or less, so this cycle, I'm going to just focus on the 3 main ones that I really like. And I'm just going to just keep DCAing and holding that for a year, 2 years from here. That's kind of my strategy. Yeah. I mean, you guys do I'm going to do me. Everyone has their own bets to make, Back room says Robert Mao with the ABT Christmas NFTs and airdrops. I like his honest approach and how he's engaging with the community. Yeah, absolutely. So there, I forgot about that. So Robert Mao of Arc Block, he's doing a airdrop NFT thing going on or whatever. And it's supposed to happen, I think, between now and Christmas. So, just be on the lookout for that. Hopefully I get my Twitter account back by then so I can participate. So I got banned from Twitter, just today. So just because I said that was the most 9 candle shit SBF ever did, whatever. Walter says, are you bullish on solo for the next bull run? Not really, to be honest with you. I don't, I like solo a lot. I really liked everything about it, but I just, the admins truly disappoint me a lot. I don't like the way they move. And, I really don't like the strategy. The strategy for what it looks like to me is they are continuously transferring liquidity and then announcing an airdrop to transfer that liquidity to. And it's constant liquidity transfer, airdrop, liquidity transfer, airdrop. And, I really do not like that pattern that they have. And it's really making me distrust them as admins. And then on top of that, now that core is going to be going on to the IBC Cosmos network. That is a huge red flag for me because that's why a lot of people went to 95% losses plus, and they're going to probably have it done to them again. And, they're probably, too sauced, I guess. But when you go to Cosmos, Cosmos had the same thing. They were basically, launching coin after coin after coin, but like they would make you stake and then they would announce an airdrop if you were staking. So they would just siphon that liquidity out and then use that liquidity for the next airdrop. And with Core going on to IBC, that is definitely what the strategy will be. So, for me, I'm just completely out on the team. So, that's why for me, like I rather, take an opportunity when I get the chance and I'll never fuck with it again. Like I'm really just not you know and guys, look, it could vary. I mean, I like the use case, I like the vision, but you could have a perfect idea, but like if the admin just rubs me the wrong way too many times, I just don't trust them anymore. So especially now, I just don't trust them. So that's just me, and keep in mind they could very well do well. I'm not going to play around for it. It just sounds like another centralization process coming, because once you got another coin out, and then once they do the transfer chain, they're going to have a new batch of tokens. You're going to be thinking like, oh, they already distributed everything because they airdropped, but no, it's another fucking coin. So there's just so many little things that really irritate me about the whole thing, and I'm just kind of done with it. I really like the use case. I like everything about it, but operations is just a big red flag for me. So I'm just tired of it. But you guys do you. We do have a lot of members, guys, and keep in mind, again, we're not. This is just another example of that. We have a lot of members that love solo. I like solo a lot, but like, I'm gonna make different decisions. But I could like a company or I could like a use case a lot, but if I start seeing too many things, like I'm just like, you know what, it's not worth it. I'm not going to deal with this, So it just depends on what you do as an individual. A lot of our members have different picks and do different things that I do. And I know you guys are used to influencers running everything or doing everything the influencer says, but here at MYC, we don't do that. Our people have their own mind. So, they do different things than I do. I say what I say, or I say my opinion, but our members are allowed to have opinions too. So unfortunately, sometimes they don't always match, and that's okay. But I really do dislike when people think that the way we operate is similar to the way someone else operates. Just completely night and day difference. There's a difference between failure and success. So that I'll say that there. Um, Dean says, oh no, I already got that one. Walter says, I see my portfolio drop 90% since last year. So if it drops another 30% from here, would not shake me a little. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Paul Solo says, great call on Japan. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. For those of you that were here for my Japan forecast in January, here we are, so I'm really happy that we were able to own that, because I made sure, because I knew that they were going to try to take that one away from me like they did the DXY. So I made sure everybody remembered. I was like, do not forget, I said Japan. So thank you. I appreciate that. Reef Guzzler says, same Alden, I accepted it and holding 10 years. Absolutely. Crypto John says, what's up, Dion? Good to see you, brother. How's the app looking? It's fucking amazing, sir. I really like it. You should try it out. Walter says, I think you have a point. I think stopping DCA until this big crash next year is probably a really good plan. Yeah, that or just slow down DCA, Crypto John, also Merry Christmas. Hopefully next year we're unwrapping boatloads of cash on your yacht. Absolutely, sir. Look, I do want to have another event sometime Q1, but I think I'm going to wait till the 4th or 5th month. But I do want to have another event, and I want to do something big. So, maybe we'll do the yacht, or maybe we could do an island. I kind of want to do an island, so we'll be orchestrating something. But for those of you that haven't seen our NFT, I do sell an NFT that will come with free access to any MYC paid event. So if you guys haven't seen the NFT marketplace for MYC, check it out. I have an NFT dragon there. It's very amazing. It's an NFT titty dragon, and you'll love it. But it does cover any type of event that we have. So I'm doing that too. So don't forget about that. But also Merry Christmas to you, John, and your family as well. I wish nothing but the best, and let's continue rocking. I see you're doing a great job out there. Love the videos. I do watch. And let's just keep making it happen. I do think that, over the next 6 months is imperative for what we will experience for the next 5 years. So this next 6 months, we might get a squeeze, but I think that DCAing is the best way to go about it from here and set all goals to 2025. Matt says, but Dion, Warren says 22 a month is outrageous. I paid hundreds of dollars to join Discord and now $23 a month. Well, you know what's nice about Discord is we still have it. So you know, if $22 a month does hurt you, then I recommend just staying in our Discord. It's still going to be there, and we still use it. So you know, it's always there. I would never leave any of our shrimp behind. You know, we have a lot of people from different wealth levels. So if you can't afford that, you know, guys, don't ever feel like I would leave you behind or anything like that. It's not who I am. You know, I make sure that we keep our community together. So, you know, that Discord private membership is still live for you, and you could still use that membership and still use that Discord instead of signing up to OddApp. Okay. So, you know, don't forget about that too. I would never leave you guys behind. You know, I don't ever want you guys to feel like, you know, because you're not wealthy enough or you're shrimp or anything like that, that I would leave you behind. It's never going to happen. Jason Key says, what's happening with Moby? Is it dead? I believe so, sir. You know, David Gobad said that he was migrating, and now I think Cyrus quit or something like that. There's a bunch of bullshit going on. So, you know, that was probably a year ago that we found that out. So, you know, I would definitely recommend staying up to date on your positions. Backrooms says, Crypto John in the house. Absolutely, sir. Dion, hey, any opinion on Phantom? You know, I don't like Phantom, and the reason why is because at the time I think one of the admins had given up, and there was I just remember some drama going on. I used to like it though. You know, but I mean, let me know if there's anything going on with it now. Jake says we don't talk about dead projects. Absolutely. You know, and keep in mind, guys, look, you know, you have to keep up on what you're doing in the markets and keep up on your projects or keep up on your positions, you know, because everything is live and doing good until it's not. You know, if the admin comes out and says that he's an idiot or says some dumb shit, you better bet your ass that I'm out the back door. I don't fuck around. If somebody's fucking around or they do something stupid, they say migration or they say anything, I'm fucking done. I'm gone. You know, so, you know, keep up to date on your positions. You know, if you're an investor, I would think that you would be watching your money or be watching the position that you're holding, whatever that position may be. Daniel says, miss these live streams, been working a lot for the crypto money. Absolutely, Daniel. LCX and ABT for the win. Absolutely. I like LCX. Obscure Warrior says ABT bottoms has been 5 cents even in previous bears. We are hedged. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Jake, if you get sauced, it might as well be 69 grams of testosterone. Absolutely, sir. But yeah, guys, we're now available on Apple Store and also Google Store. If you want to join our membership, it's OddApp. Okay. You sign up through a subscription. It's 23 USD a month. Can't wait to have you guys. It's private, secure, and you know, you can't screenshot on there. You put data in, but can't take data out. And, you know, all the messages are encrypted. So, you know, instead of getting your data harvested on Discord or Telegram or any of these other sites or whatever the case, you go to OddApp and feel secure, safe, and private. So that's what's nice about OddApp. You know, it's a private, secure investors forum. So, you know, definitely enjoy that. We created that from scratch. So do enjoy it. Again, for any shrimp out there, you know, whatever the case, we still have the Discord channel. So keep in mind, we still got that there for you guys to enjoy. Reef Gosler says you are 1,000% dead on. Absolutely. We have half a year. Correct. 1.5 years. Solo is a good long-term. They have continued to build in the bear market and have good communication with community. I agree 100%. ABT has been compressing and accumulating for like 4 years. Its time will come. I believe so. And it'll come with DID and Web3 for sure. That's how I feel. 18 months to 2 years to be a millionaire is well worth the wait. Time will pass anyways, but I would rather invest and wait. Yeah, correct. Someone brought up ArcBlock to Reza in an interview, and he said he knew what it was. Yeah, absolutely. You know, because every Web2 company is going to need Web3, and they're going to need DID or KYC solutions. What's nice about ArcBlock is anything a company needs, they could create with Blocklet. So they could create dApps or apps that they need for whatever use case they need. Okay, faster and at less cost. If they have developer, they could go to Blocklet and get a free Blocklet and build whatever they want and not have to pay anything. So, you know, that's what's really nice about that. And you don't need to migrate. You know, what's nice about ArcBlock is it's blockchain agnostic. So they could use the Blocklets. They don't need to leave their blockchain ecosystem. They don't need to migrate. They don't need to do shit. They just need to build whatever they need to build using ArcBlock's tools, and they're done. They don't have to worry about blockchain lock-in. You know, and that's what sucks about a lot of these companies is they get stuck in the blockchain they're in and they can't leave it because everything they need to do, it has to be on that blockchain. Well, not with ArcBlock. You could do anything with ArcBlock. That's what's nice. Um, Little Nam says SBF getting house arrest, slap on the cheeks. Yeah, absolutely. I doubt. I mean, who cares? I mean, what what is house arrest? You know how fast he could be gone if they really set it up right. Jasmine, ex CEO of Sony, good pick. Yeah, I believe so. No stable coin is stable. They will all eventually depeg. Yeah, for sure. I do like Tron's Tether a lot, and I also like USDD because it is over collateralized, and that's good because that means it has more liquidity to back any depegging, and it has a 3 point interval. So let's say if a depegging from 100 cents happens, it could withstand up to 3 cents back. So it's pretty nice. But again, I don't use stable coins personally. I don't think any of them are foolproof, forever, but they are needed and they will be used in the crypto market. So they do have a place, but for me, I'd rather just collect an asset and keep collecting. That's just me. I've actually never, used a stable coin to hedge or do any of that stuff. I just never have. Fabian says, "You think that EQ is worth it anymore than with them fumbling Q4?" I do like EQ still. And no matter what, the business model doesn't change. So it doesn't really matter what NFT marketplace they came out with or whatever marketplace they had, as long as they're creating games that are usable or can be played and that it takes a token, they'll eventually get there. Or if they are there already, it'll still create scarcity for their already scarce 100 million coin cap. So I do feel pretty good for EQ. But I mean, guys, I haven't really been keeping up on them. So, if you guys have additional info or you feel like it's not that great anymore, then, just give me the data and we'll talk about it. But I still feel good about EQ. And because it's a bottom too, why not? Just me. Fabian says, Mal talking mad shit on Telegram got me hyped. Telegram is supposed to be worth 30 billion. Imagine if ABT version of Telegram. Yeah, absolutely. You never know. And it's possible, Robert could really just about build anything. He said that he was going to build a special server just for ArcBlock. So, and that's what's basically going to happen. You're going to just see a lot of decentralization happen. And that's what we did, instead of, constantly going to a third party like Discord or going to a third party here, a third party there, we decentralized ourselves and made our own app to congregate on that's private, secure, and we don't have to worry about bullshit. It's all encrypted. So it's safer than what we had before, and unfortunately it's where it's self-sustainable. So it's subscription based. We don't harvest your data. We don't take your data and sell it. See, the reason why you guys have free apps like Discord or Telegram or Twitter or Facebook is because they're stealing your data and they're selling your data. They're selling your geolocation. On OddApp, we don't sell your data. We do not collect it. We don't, all the messages are encrypted, no screenshot. You can't remove data from it. Like, it's secure. So it's completely different. So, for a lot of people that are like, oh man, but unfortunately, you have to pay for services. So, I mean, and on top of that, guys, support us. Absolutely. Support MYC. Why not? You guys supporting MYC is what keeps me going. Little Nam says, fuck Twitter. Yeah, absolutely. Jason Key says, 9 candle shit. What would that be? A Jewish thing? Probably, sir. Let's put it all out in Twitter. I did. I got banned. Explore More says, Deso is so undervalued. I would wait for the $5 or less mark for Deso for sure. And it is a little bit clunky, but it could get better over time. So we'll see what it does. It's not truly Web3, but that app can migrate to Web3 when the time comes. So that's cool. Little Nam says, influence yourself. Absolutely. Little Nam says, and most projects are cash vacuums. Yeah, absolutely. In your opinion, use one's own critical thoughts to come to conclusions or on all things. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Explore More says, did you get that throne from Tony Montana? Absolutely, sir. Directly from him. Junkhouse Dog says, no one calls me a shrimp and gets to swim away. Absolutely, sir. Little Nam says, to be fair, it's all in the fine print. People too lazy to read. Yeah, absolutely. So I just feel like, you guys got to prepare yourself, buy time right now, buy time. And we'll see what we do. But look, guys, you guys keep doing what you're doing. One of my favorite picks is still ArcBlock ABT. What I'll be DCAing would be ABT, BLZ, PRQ. I do like LCX, Jasmine. Dragon Chain. I mean, there's a few picks that I've already been talking about that I really, really like that I'll be DCAing over time. But you know, my goals are in 2 years. Okay. So if your goals are within the next 3 months or 6 months, you're probably going to zero. So, you know, stay focused, keep working, and don't ever forget, guys, a hot dog sent me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget to like the goddamn video. All right, guys, I'll catch you.